All right, everybody, let's get going here. I'm on the road, so I really don't have that much access to information. So I'll just shoot from the hip what I last saw. Let's start talking about CAR, the rent a car company that is now, I guess, cured cancer, has new technology, SpaceX, you name it. It went from below 100 to 430 or something like that. People, that's a short squeeze. That's a naked short squeeze on top of a short squeeze. This is how it goes. This is what they look like. And then you can see the wild volatility up to 400, drive it down to 330 or something like that, then roaring right back up and down $50. That shakes out any longs that are trying to speculate in the middle. That's what happens. Right? Those are the signs of a short dying. Those wild swings. Finger motion has had the wild swing to push down to try to get us to sell. Now they don't know what to do, and it's going the opposite way. And that leads me into the next story. BIRD rebranded itself, right? One day from being a sneaker company, now it's an AI king. 2 to 24. I told you before, never chase these names. They're too dangerous. Trying to pick a bottom is like catching a falling knife. Remember, if you want to do that, go home and drop a knife and see how many times you get away without it stabbing you. That's what we call it, catching a falling knife. That's a professional trade. If you sold it at 24 and you want to jump back in at 12, that's a different story. All right, you got yourself, $12 in your pocket. The most you can lose is 12. And if it gets another run, so be it. You get lucky. All right? But most people aren't playing it. That's just shorts on top of shorts trying to cover. They jump in and bid, it pops up, another guy comes in and shorting it. You can't play the game. We can't borrow the shares, so don't even bother looking at it. Okay, all the information you know is when you miss it, let it go. There's plenty of other trains coming. There's always another train coming. That's from my friend who's, I think he's 89. He was a broker at a famous E.F. Hutton, I believe, and he told me that line yesterday. It took me a half hour to get it out of him, but he finally said there's always another train coming. Well, let's look at the rebranding. Rebranding, there was an MYSE today. Rebranded itself. Okay, I forgot to even know what they did. Stock went from nothing to 577. Rebranding. You could sit there and we could say all these little tricks. Well, I believe I heard that Finger Motion was going to do something about that like 2.5 weeks ago. And I heard again yesterday that it's going to be better than whatever happened with BIRD. I forgot what they did to AI. So why not do it? I'm with them. Do whatever you can. Pete from Philly always says, hey, do whatever you can. You're in a fight, go get them. So Finger Motion just has to wave a wand and change its name to We Fuck the Shorts .ai, whatever you want to call it. If it's AI or if it's this or telecom, whatever it is. Rebrand yourself, let it fly. Let's see what happens. We don't care. The shorts are the ones that have to worry. All right, I told you about a big institutional group coming in with its name off a big win, and we'll see what happens there. The company's closing on a transaction. The company's doing everything they can. Shorts hit the sell button. Remember, now when you see a bid for 50,000 shares, like we saw in Finger before at 108, everyone thinks it's a big buyer, okay? That is a trade, 50,000 to buy, and it gets hit in a second. How many people have 50,000 to buy and 50,000 to sell, all within the same 30 seconds? Hey, Tony, I want to buy 50. You sell 50. I'll bid. You hit it. You know how hard that is to get done? To go find someone along 50,000. Not 51, not 48, 50. They hit it, crossed it, it went away. That is a wash trade. They're getting called in for delivery on some stock. And that's why you see the washing going on. Same washing machine is going on in HLP, has been going on for the last 6 days. They washed a couple of million shares by now. All right, they're buying more settlement time, but yet the stock keeps crawling back up. It hit a high of 114, I think, today. 115 is the breakout point. That's where every short sale, the average on every short sale, that's the break even. Once it goes above that, all 26 million shares that are naked short are in the red. And every time it starts to move up, they push it down. Move up, push it down. These are the classic signs. Move them up, push it down. Finger motion, move to $1.50, push it down. Got to $1.35 last week, push it down. Now they're reversing it. They try to get you to come out. CAR. They want you to sell. How do they get you to sell? Call you up, spread a stupid rumor like they did in that LWLG the other day. I told you I didn't believe it. And the stock went up $4. All right? CAR, they're trying to get you out by doing what? Creating volatility, dropping it as like it's falling off a cliff. Sometimes you get stop loss orders standing in the way. Sometimes you just get panic. People that bought stock on margin, it is a $400 stock. So I don't believe any longs are up here playing, but this is how the shorts play. It's easy to see. Learn it. I'm not telling you to buy it, but you can understand the trading pattern. If you're in this game, understand how it works. BIRD, you would have had 30 seconds to buy in. It went from 2, it was 5, and before you knew it, within an hour, it was 10. How are you going to jump into that one? You're going to run it by a stock at 10 because you think it's going to 20? You have no idea. That's where the risk is. You win sometimes, you get wiped out other times. That's why I keep trying to tell you, buy the stocks that haven't moved. That's where you make the most money. If you're long higher, I got it. I have friends that own Finger Motion higher. I was with them last night, and he's averaging down. He did average down yesterday, below $1. He said. So again, these are the things you have to do. You have to make your decision. If you believe or understand why you're here, we understand you're losing. We got it. Everybody understands it. The company's not happy about it. No one's happy about it. All right, but you got to get your way out of it. What works? The SEC doesn't do anything to help us. The president doesn't do anything. Magna doesn't do anything. Nick Shirley doesn't do anything. Elon Musk does shit. All he does is brag how good his rockets are going, which is great. Listen, the guy's a brilliant guy, but he could stand up and help the millions and millions of people that are getting their ass wiped out by criminals. I wish somebody knew him and could step up. We have a few people that actually work in SpaceX that own Finger, and you just can't get to them. That's just the way it is. And so you understand the GDC is just following Bitcoin. I just posted about Bitcoin. I don't understand the Bitcoin. It's 75,000. It's like, don't let it go through. Let's push it down. It looks like the same pattern as in the stock. They're pushing it down, trying to keep people to bail. And Bitcoin looks like it wants to explode to 75,000. And that would make GDC go higher. GDC is locked in. It should be 10 already. So when the company does sell their coins, whether it's 70,000, 75,000, 100,000, once they start buying back stock, it has to be real shares, and they have to be delivered, and the transfer agent will retire a real share. He can't retire an IOU. Hold on one second. Give me 1 second. My wife is texting me something, and I wanted to see what she had to say. Okay, everything's okay. Anyway, I'm at a facility. I just want to let you know my son had a stroke, and he was getting Botox. If you know anyone who has a stroke, Botox, it's actually painful to watch. They give you about 50 needles in your fingers and your thumbs and your hamstring to help loosen up the tightness from a stroke. I don't know if many people know about it, but he's been doing it, and it opens up his finger, his left hand, and it makes it, it doesn't make it work, but it doesn't make him feel like it's always curled up in like a ball. You don't feel like that. And I sit in the parking lot, I see handicapped people just coming in. It doesn't make a difference what color, shape, size you are. Life is short, and that's, most important. Protect whatever you have, because this is, people, I bumped into someone once that a woman, she fell out of a hammock and got paralyzed. I mean, just crazy stuff that you see in life. And just be careful. Don't be like these crooks. They don't care about anybody that has any problems. They could care less. To steal the money, sell the stocks. They should all be in jail for life for what they've done. Just destroying. Everyone has a different problem or a different reason for their money not to be stolen. And these guys couldn't care less. They, and they're a disgrace. And I can't say it any more than that. Once I get into Mar-a-Lago, which we're working on, get me in the door. As soon as I do I will hand out flyers with their faces on it. give them the instructions what to look for, sell tickets, phone calls to their brokers the day the call started, and it's easy to see the crime. Finger motion would never have been naked shorted unless someone called Benchmark got in touch with Lynn, and the attack begun into our buying, and then that they never stopped because they need to press it down. Remember, the short sellers do everything based on margin. They have unlimited stock they can sell. They're just in the back making a counterfeit. But once the stock moves above where they shorted it, they have to put up money. Okay? And that's the killer. And when it happens quick, when a rebranding comes and they change the name to WeFuckTheShorts.ai, imagine that coming out and this stock just take off. I don't know what they're going to do. I hope they do something like that. That would be my name. I would change the company to that name in a second. But so when that happens, it goes at them so fast they can't handle it, and then the algorithms kick in and they get wiped out, and that's what you're seeing in like BIRD. All right, on that other one today, MYSE. From nothing to something. Companies need to fight back. It's funny, all these companies never said anything, right? Bird was quietly just a billions and $billion IPO by Morgan Stanley, Bank of America, I forgot who else. From billions to zero, making sneakers. They shut the sneaker door down, and now they're in AI. And everyone on the street ran to buy it because everybody knew it was going to squeeze it short. So the people that ran into it first are the guys that killed it. The second guy who made a ton of money is the guy who's funding the company because he sold it short into the run-up. He has the debenture with the company, he sold it at 10, he buys it back at 2. The company don't care because they'll get $50 million to start their AI project. And if anyone lives in LA in the homeless encampment, that's where they're going to find people to work on AI because you don't have enough money to hire real people. It's just amazing that everyone fell for that $50 million convertible debenture by an institution with no name. And if they weren't able to make it short, they would never be able to do that transaction. Because what they've done is when the stock was screaming on the news, they short it, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever. No way they thought it was going to 20, because they're protected against that debenture. They're protected on that debenture. But they can't short it if they can't borrow it, so that you can do whatever you want. So if they were to force settlement, these guys would have to put up the $50 million first and then hope the stock goes and then make sales. That means they'll be like us. They would have to have a vested interest in it versus just shorting it with no money, not putting up a penny up. Anybody on the phone can do that transaction. Let's sell 10 million shares at $8, make $80 million, give the company $50 million, and we get $30 million in our pocket for about a 1-hour trade. That's what that institution did, whoever the nameless institution that it is. All right? That's the crime on Wall Street. They naked short. It helps. They'll say, well, it helps the company raise money, but it really doesn't help the company raise money. They're just you're just paying off a ransom note, really. These guys are just stealing the money from the investors who are running in to buy it. And I got it. They should be able to. The SEC should allow companies to file and sell shares when they have to, not make a big noise about it. When you file to do it, you have to tell the SEC, the shorts get in it, they push the stock down, and everybody on this phone yells, well, the company's raising money. They're just going through the proper protocol. That's what you have to do with the SEC. You have to tell everybody, ring everybody's doorbell that you're going to raise money, and the criminals take advantage of it by naked shorting, pushing the stock down, and hurt the companies. But the SEC's okay with that part of it. Not that they push the stock down. If you want to really get a kick out of some of these things, go look at a stock that just announces that they're going to raise money. And look at the pattern before they raise the money. I guarantee you 5 days before, you see the stock trending down all the time. And when a company announces they're going to do a secondary, they knock the stock down further. So imagine a stock at $85. Let's say it's IBM, $85. And they're going to raise $100 million in a secondary offering. The stock will be pushed down to 83. Everyone will buy on the secondary because the secondaries is going to be a discount to 83. They'll buy it, and they basically shorted at 85 and bought it back at 83 or 82 and a half, whatever it was. So they forced the secondary price lower to get more shares. And you say, well, I don't believe that. Google Millennium Partners naked shorting of IPO. They got busted for doing it. You can go read it there. Millennium. Anybody want to go to the SEC? Just Google it. You'll see it. Millennium. One of the biggest funds around. Izzy Englander. They were getting secondary. People were calling them up. Hey, we're doing a secondary. No problem. They naked short it and buy it back on the offering, which is illegal to do. And they got busted for it. If they did it, they all did it. These guys all run the same business plan. It's all the same stuff. But again, let's just, NRGV, I told you 365 is where the insider paid last week. No one, you listen, you want to sell the stock, sell it above 365. It hit 370 today. That's where, if you wanted to sell it, at least go above what the insider did. Insiders have inside information. The company's doing well. You can read the news yourself. We told you about it, 82 cents. It went to 6.5 to pull back, to raise money. The opportunities, if you're a long investor, if you're a long-term investor, it's a great company. You can see it yourself. Will it be taken over? These companies like Wolf, they get these big funds come in and they invest in it. CNBC put Wolf on TV yesterday after they did their big raise. All of a sudden, it's a star. The only moron that talked about Wolf was me when it was 82 cents, not CNBC. They only talk about you when you're a winner. Small companies are just pissed and thrown in the garbage pail based on price. You'll never get to Bloomberg or CNBC or Fox Business News because they just look at your price and they basically consider you trash. Even though a company like Northwest Bio could save your life with a cure for breast cancer or brain cancer, whatever they're working on, it'll never get to television because it's a 20-cent stock, manipulated to death. But no one will ever get the story from it. And that goes back to the one that I owned a long time ago. I told you about that one. I'm blank on it now. Immunomedics, IMMU, when it was attacked by Adam Fronstein. Pushed it from 5 down to 2. Breast cancer data, didn't want anybody to see it. Got them thrown out of ABSCO. Stock went straight down. Everyone thought it was a fraud. And the company wound up getting taken out, going from 5 to 2, and eventually 88 taken over by GILD for their breast cancer data that he didn't want anybody to see. Think about that. People were trying to enhance breast cancer data, and those guys that were behind Adam Fronstein covered, made their money, and helped run, and then they knew the data was good. That's why. And that was the attack plan there. Same thing with Andrew Left. They all do the same thing. I'm laughing about that Andrew Left lawsuit by Barry Honing. Honing was from Riot Blockchain many moons ago. Riot was squeezing. Andrew Left must have called CNBC up and told him it was a fraud because Barry lives in Fort Lauderdale, I live in Boca. And Andrew came out and said, sell the stock short. The stock got killed because CNBC did an investigation into RIOT. CNBC, not the SEC, CNBC. When they came out and said that, the stock got killed. Then the SEC looked into it. And guess what? The guy never got in trouble for it. So now that guy's suing Andrew Left on a different stock just before his trial. To me, it seems like it's payback because they all know each other down there. So again, this is how this game is played. You got to understand every part of it, going back years, going forward. It's the same thing. There's only a few things these guys can do. Bring Emotion, every day they try to mark it down on the close. They're washing trades. You can see it yourself. You don't have to be blind. You can see it yourself. But again, if they have unlimited amounts, like the gentleman talked to me yesterday about, how could you win if they have unlimited amounts? Well, if they have unlimited amounts, why don't they let the stock go higher? Instead of selling 1,000 shares at $1, you can sell 1,000 shares at $2 and get 2,000 versus 1,000, right? Why sell more shares? Because if the stock moves up, they can't meet margin. That's why they hold it down. And I'm telling you again, buy it when they don't want it. When it turns, you're not going to get a chance. MYSE, I don't know the stock, no chance. Boom, from nothing to 577. MYSE. I don't know where it is. I have no idea now. Bird, $2, $3, 3 to 24. What did they do? Nothing. Changed their name and signed a convertible debenture. That's what they did. That shows you how explosive everything I've been telling you is. That's why we're here. And you say, why doesn't finger go? Why are they holding this thing down? Because if you think those are big, wait to see what happens in finger motion. No one knows anything about those other names. I know nothing about it. No one's been following it. Not one person's given me the data on any of those names. Just the ones they're holding down are the ones that are the most explosive. GDC, whoever's holding that down needs mental help because he has no idea what he's doing. It's easy math. I don't even have to. I'm tired of explaining it. But yet they keep trying. They don't want to lose a quarter, but it doesn't make a difference. They're trapped there. It's the only company I know that has access to almost $600 million in cash. $600 million. Companies can't get $5 million, $10 million to raise. GDC has access to $600 million, and the stock is $3.60 or something like that. It's worth 10 right now. Someone should make a bid for this company at 9 and walk away making himself $30-40 million in cash in one day. Shut the company down, sell the Bitcoin, lock it in, hedge it, and you got locked in, make yourself 50, 30, 40, 50. Pay 9, you make more money. Pay 8, you make even more money. The company has to do something to defend it. So it's just a matter of when it's going to happen. Again, it's like a risk-arb situation. I don't think risk-arbs are really following this stuff as much. I think they do play it in MSTR, but they don't play it down here. Eventually, someone's going to wake up and do the math. It's pretty easy to see. NRGV, we talked about. HLP, the volume has been huge. I have no idea. I'm sorry. I just don't know where it's trading at. Let's see if I can figure it out here. Give me a second. It says 107. So it hit 114. It's 107. Another 500,000 shares. They're rolling and washing those trades for a reason, because they're getting called for delivery. And when buyers come in, what does it do? It keeps moving up. Buyers come in, they keep moving up. People can see they're washing the trades. Now, which one's going to go first? I don't know. Finger goes tomorrow. Just I can buy more HLP. All right? Finger, if you're listening, anybody close to them, do whatever you have to do. Do whatever you're working on, that we hear you've been working on, change the name. Whatever that flash thing is, you should become, start a Bitcoin treasury, do anything that makes it go. What's the difference? Say anything. Whatever it takes, just go for it. We're all with you. Again, I'm working on my Zoom call in South Korea. I have people tell me, go get the hell out of here, so I'm working on that. We're not going to let them guys get away. I'm going to go to D.C. I'm going to go to Mar-a-Lago. I'm going to give their names out right to the FBI, Secret Service, anybody with a gun. And the SEC is going to have a great view of the building. And you know what? We came up with an idea, sort of like a Benny Hill idea. And, there was my son showed me a thing that now they have midget wrestling. I want to pay a small guy and just pay him to go to the SEC like Nick Shirley. Hey, my name's Nick Shirley. What's going on in here? You guys see the truck? Have a guy who does comedy said, "Oh, write me a bunch of lines and we'll give it to somebody we hire for $500 to stand in front of the SEC in the truck and make fun of them." I mean, that's all we could do now. This is so comical. Everyone knows, and they don't do anything about it. It's been going on since 1988. So I think we're going to actually get someone to go read something comical, make believe he's Nick Shirley with a big sign saying I'm Nick Shirley, and see if anybody listens to the video we put up and have fun with it. There's nothing else to say. I don't even know what to say anymore. How could they all be hiding? Not one person say anything about it? Just phenomenal. Anyway, people, again, buy it when they're not moving. Do not chase it. Do not become a fool and lose your money. If you believe in any of these crazy things we talk about, you have to buy them before they move. Don't look for momentum and someone to tap you on the shoulder and say it's go time. Oh, the company, whatever, did this and the stock was $1 and now it's, $16. Don't miss it because that idiot Ham said it's going to 3,500. It may go to 16 and drop to 6 in 3 minutes and then go to 3,500. But when you buy it at 16 and it goes to 6, you will wet your pants. Why put yourself through that? If you believe in what we're doing and you understand the fight, you have to do it before. That's just the way we were all taught. I can't tell you how many stocks that I missed because I didn't chase. Oh, it's up 2. Once you go buy it, I'm like, I can't do it. And they go up 8. But you want something? I don't want to catch the one that goes up 2 that drops 3. That's that Bitcoin trade. It goes to 75. They push it to 73. Think about $2,000 swing and how many Bitcoin you own. It's massive. That's why the shorts do it, because there's volatility. It gets people nervous. I get nervous, and that's why I stay away from those things, because I don't want to. I've been trapped in those things. I'm giving you advice that, things that I've seen or we've done already. I always tell the story of my friend Rhonda. She was from Kentucky, and I was working on the block desk. She gave me 10,000 of some stock to buy at 10 or 11. She gave me a market order. I don't know the stock. I just put the order in, buy 10,000 at the market. Call the floor. The order goes out. In that 30 seconds, the order went from me to the floor, to the broker, to the booth. The stock went up 10. She paid $20.30 for it. The time I got the report and told it was she paid $20.30. The stock was on its way back down to 10. She lost $100,000 because she put a market order in. That's the way it goes. Mistakes. Do not make mistakes. Use limits. When the stock takes off, like let's say a bird, and you own 10,000 at $1. If you sold 1,000 at 10, you got all your money off the table, and you still have 9,000 shares left. Breaking even on a trade, it's not the end of the world. Having a win a trade and go back down and lose money, that's a killer. I'm not telling you to sell it all into the squeeze. Bird, I don't know nothing about. Finger motion, we studied for 5 years already. We've been documented it for 5 years. We told the SEC for 5 years, 23 times, soon to be 24. If there was no major short in this stock, they would have shut us down a long time ago. Show us the proof. They won't even say a word. Right? Just show us the proof, and we'll all shut up and go away. No one shows up. Zero. Nobody. Just like I said, make sure you do it. I understand. I'm not here trying to tell you to go buy a stock. I'm trying to teach you don't make mistakes when you do it, because mistakes cost you a lot of money in this game. Use limits. Limits when you sell, limits when you buy. When you want to sell a stock and you want to put an order in to sell it, it's called the good till cancel, GTC. If the stock's $1.25, you could say sell 1,000 at $9.25, and it's always there until you cancel it. Because sometimes the stocks will run and go straight back down. Look at that MYSE. It went from $1, let's say, to $5.77. Imagine if you had 1,000 out there to sell it at $5, and I don't know where it is. Maybe it pulled back to 2 or 3, 4. I don't know. If you sold it in the run, you could buy it back at 3. That's how you do it. But you have to have your order out there because it goes too fast. It can't go past 5. And trade at $5.77, you have to sell your stock at 5. It cannot print at another level until you're taken out. But only if your order is in. If it's a fast market, you won't get an execution. They'll say it's too fast. You missed it. But if it's in before, it doesn't cost anything to do. GTC, good till cancel. Pick your own number, throw it out there, and you want to cancel it, you cancel it. That's how it works. But you cannot sell it if a stock rips and you don't have an order out there. It's very difficult to do. All right, that's the way you get the top. That's how you get high prices. Swings up. Imagine throwing it out there at 20. Boom, it runs up. They may give you $21. I don't know. Someone's texting me something. I'm sorry, I can't read it. I'm in a car. Anyway, people, you know my story. I gave it to you in finger. I gave you GDC, NRGV. Those things are in play. GDC, NRGV. NRGV will be just like Wolf, and in 6 months it'll be on CNBC. And that same buffoon who interviewed Wolf yesterday will do it for NRGV. Right, good companies, upcoming companies, raising money, doing things globally. CNBC will call them in when they're 20. That's the same thing there. HLP, I told you, the people told me to get long it. I have no idea what all this nonsense is going back and forth. But the trend is starting to become our friend, and it looks like it's starting to go up. and $1.15 is the breakout on there. I do not have the number on finger motion what the level is to break out. I'll try to get it again. You got to remember, the more they sell at the low, let's say if it was 3, the shares they've been selling below $1 will drop that number, not by much, like to 275, 265, if that's the number. It may go down 30 cents. It's not going to drop dollars because there's so many shares that were bought higher. So let's say I'll just take a short guess. Let's say it's 350. So we got to go from 1 to 350. Once it goes above 350, all the shares down here and all the shares they sold higher, the average of 350 will now be in the red. All right, so it's got a little time before it's the short trigger number gets hit. HLP is what, 5 cents, 6 cents away, so it's right there. NRGV, it's already hit all those numbers, went to 6.5, did the raise. So all those things are off the table now, but there's a huge short. GDC, 233 million. Bitcoin times the number of the Bitcoin times 7,500 coins. The price gives you how much cash they have. Stock has got to go up through the cash. It's just the way it is. Everyone, have a great day, and don't be stupid. Be smart. Thank you.